Tonight we have a wonderful but brief program, the chance to recognize some of the most distinguished and important leaders in our field, the chance to hear from young people, always a staple of the Castle magic, the chance to get energized so that when tomorrow we are together, we have the best chance of being successful. There are so many people to thank. The Einhorn Family Charitable Trust, the 1440 Foundation, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, the Noyce Foundation, the Zussman Family Foundation, the Steens Family Foundation, the Ellison Group, Lucky 7, Midwest, and others who have helped contribute to making the forum possible. So I'd like you all to join me in thanking all those people who have helped bring us here together. The greatest thanks, though, go to our hosts tonight. Hosts who have, I would say, single-handedly, even though in the lexicon of Castle, there's no one person, there's no single individual, but I would say at the same time, none of us would be here. Most of the work represented in this room would not be happening in the way it's happening today, were it not for Peter and Jennifer Buffett. And they're our hosts tonight. I want to say a few more words about them before they come up. Peter, many of you know, is a celebrated musician and author. Life is What You Make It. If you haven't read it, it's a wonderful, brief and inspiring read. It's an invitation to own your own agenda, to own your own life, and in some ways, a specific agenda, not to be beholden to family and expectations, but to be beholden only to your truest and most passionate self. They've created the Novo Foundation with two words underneath the name. Create, change. Two words. And as you think about, and as all of us have thought about the guidance, the leadership that Peter and Jen have brought, I thought to myself, in coming here about the ways in which they've tried to articulate a vision for how one creates and how one changes. Jen and I, in particular, have had so many conversations over the years about how do we change? Really, what are the ways in which human beings change? How can we invite people to change? How much breaking apart do you have to do in order to recognize the new? How much surrender do you have to learn how to do in order to welcome insights and change? How much creative energy do you have to invite from others? How much listening do you have to do to be able to create, to be able to change? I thought of, what's the theory of change? Castle has a theory of change. And then you think there are organizations that have theories of change. Alcoholics Anonymous is a famous one. Big theory of change. That there are moments when you have to recognize that you can no longer continue. You have to welcome, to some extent, some kind of a faith experience in the future and a higher power. I thought of a young woman in New York, a 16-year-old woman, Marielle Garcia, who is in a high school in New York, who has her own theory of change. She embarked on a project to try to reduce the likelihood of teen suicide. She'd lost 2 friends. And she thought that the theory of change that was most important was to articulate for her peers how important they were, to be able to allow them to see a future. And so she started a website and a campaign. It's called simply, You Are Perfectly Made. And she's held rallies all over New York City with teenagers. Every rally is dedicated to the theme that you are perfectly made. And I was thinking about all these things and then thinking really in a way, Jen and Peter, it's not too much to say that you have reminded all of us in this field, many of us who've labored, some for 30 or 40 years, some for 20, some for 10, some more recent arrivals, that you've inspired us to think big. You've inspired us to think not just that we can do a little better, not just that we can do another program, or not just that we can add one more teacher, one more classroom, but that we can change whole systems, that we can think paradigm change, that we can think of a time when compassion and cooperation and openness are actually the symbols of power and strength and courage, not the alternative. I think I bring you up here on behalf of all of us here to say that at some level, you have reminded us that we can create and that we can change and that we can do it in the biggest way possible. So without further delay, Peter and Jennifer Buffett.
Wow. Good evening, everybody. This is so fun that we're on our feet in a children's museum instead of sitting down together at a dinner. Thank you, Castle, for organizing and choosing this amazing space. I want to take this brief opportunity just to say thank you to all of you. You are the rock stars of this movement and this discussion that is starting this evening, that has been going on, that is building, that is going to have a crescendo, I think, tomorrow, that hopefully will send you back even more inspired and more dedicated to the work for our children, for our teachers, for our parents, for our communities, for our future, our very future. Someone came up to me earlier and said, you know, this isn't the soft stuff. This is like survival. This is a matter of life and death for some kids and communities, and it really is. I see a lot of people nodding their heads. If we don't remember our humanity, if we don't remember what makes a human being come alive and be able to learn, I think we're sunk. And I think the three words, we talk about this a lot in terms of thinking about what every human being needs and every person in this room needs and what we need to provide for our kids is, first of all, to feel safe, second of all, to feel seen, and third of all, to be celebrated. So I celebrate all of you this evening and thank you so much for coming and attending this forum and looking forward to hearing from all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks. I'll just add a little bit. You know, it's amazing to have the foundation and do the work we do. It's funny what happens when you have a foundation. You get better looking. Your jokes are funnier. You get invited to all these places. It's amazing. But something else happens too. You get a lot of very passionate people coming to you from every sector, and you can slice the sectors a million ways into politics and social systems and in the environment and health and on. And everybody seems to be saying, it's a critical time, now's the time, there's a movement building, you know, we have to do it now. And they're probably all right. But what we keep seeing as a consistent framework to all this is that they're all symptoms. They're actually not the problem. And the symptom is relationship. The problem is relationship. The problem is that we have gone from relationship to transaction. And that's why we so believe in this work, because if a child feels safe and seen, and if they can be in relationship to themselves and the world around them, we're going to have a different world. The environment's going to change, the economics are going to change, everything else is going to change because we're bringing people into this world that understand what relationship means. And that's why we believe so strongly in the work. And it dawned on me that what we're actually doing at the foundation is working in a 21st century version of alchemy. And you're all helping us. We're trying to turn money into love. So that's the work we're trying to do. Thank you all for helping us do it.